And we're streaming live the November 18th Trustees Meeting, Part 1.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Is that on?
Yeah. Mr. Bodnar, could you please call roll for this evening?
Certainly, Trustee Rivers. Trustee Rivers?
Here.
Trustee Knapp?
Here.
Trustee Tarano?
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any agenda changes this evening?
I have none.
I have one, Mr. Chairman. The addition to the executive session, item number 15, would be to add the conference with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or intimate court action. This verbiage was added to the template for your easy sharing.
Okay. And I would just like to move a few things around. We have a 6:30 presentation that I'd like to start with, and then have our zoning hearing follow, and then follow with our executive session.
I'd just like to make a comment. I'd like to thank our community, our residents, for passing our levies. This past election it enables us to do some more and exciting things and maintain things at a more rapid pace than normal, and it helps preserve Mr. Cowan's job. So that's always a good thing.
Do we have any public comments for items that are not on tonight's agenda?
Thank you. My name is Dave Nestick. I'm at 2908 Atoll in the Shores. I just wanted to bring something to the attention of the trustees to see if there's anybody that would like to look into it or help me look into it. But I'm part of a large population of residents that don't have a choice for natural gas. The aggregation was recently on the ballot. I started a discussion on an app online that seemed to get some interest by some residents to actually look into what can be done, if anything can be done, to get this large group of residents the ability to choose a natural gas supplier or be part of an aggregation program. So that's about the limit of my knowledge as far as what can be done. And I know as a political body that the Public Utilities Commission would probably respond to you more than just me.
We actually have reached out to Suburban, and there's many factors of why they don't do that. Mainly a big part of it is cost to them. It's not something that they are willing to pursue, and that's the only way for it to happen. Mr. Bonard, you don't know any specific details how that works, do you?
I do not, Trustee Brown. I'd be happy to do some research, and maybe you and I can huddle up at some point and share that research with you.
That would be great.
I do know that Suburban is a consortium in and of itself, so it's somewhat akin to the same aggregation type model that we're using, or the rest of the community is using, in a sense, that they use bulk buying power to try to solidify costs or to achieve lower costs. And because of that, they're carved out. And that's all I know as far as that goes. But I'll be happy to look into that some more and maybe get some information.
It's been a few years since I had the conversation with them. I can't remember the details. I apologize. But there are reasons why they haven't gone that route.
I'm fully aware that maybe nothing can be done, but we need to at least look into it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustees. I apologize for leaving the screen. There was some problems with the cameras today, and I wanted to double check to make sure that they've been rectified.
I'd like to welcome our presenter from the Delaware County General Health District.
We might, I'm sorry, Ms. Huddleston, we do have another person who wanted to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't know it was now or later.
Yeah, it's now.
Kurt McDowell, 7247 Trillium Drive, Lewis in Summerfield Village. I'm speaking on behalf of our homeowner association on the board. In regards to the zoning hearing later this evening, we're not saying how we feel one way or the other of that, but want to bring something to your attention. We have had a mulch walking path, and we've years ago changed it over to gravel. And then years ago, we also gave part of it over to the township to connect to other, to the trail system. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that we do have a portion that's still gravel that if the township is interested in, that would connect the new development to the rest of the township trail system. So just wanted to bring that to the board.
So, Mr. McDowell, this is Bill Cowan here, and he can give you his card.
Okay.
And we'll get the two of you connected, and he'll be able to come check that out.
Okay, great.
You good?
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me a moment to speak. Sheila Hiddleston, your Health Commissioner. Really stopping by here at the end of the year to say a very big thank you to the Township for all the work that we've done together over this year. I know that Jen Kagi comes regularly, and you all are working on many initiatives that also could impact the health of your residents, so we really do appreciate that. Wanted to bring your attention just to a couple of things. First off, if you participated in our Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, Challenges assessment that we sent out to all of our partners. We do appreciate that. We got 90 responses back. So our Board of Health has used that as we're developing our next strategic plan, which will start in January. Also, if you're interested, we have two new dashboards on our website. The first dashboard is related to the Community Health Improvement Plan. You can actually go on there, look at all of our priorities and see where we are, if we've finished any of the priorities, if we're in the progress, or some of them haven't even been slated to start yet. But it's one of our responsibilities as your health district is, of course, to monitor the Community Health Improvement Plan and to make sure that our residents know how we're all doing. And of course, when I say we, it's not just the health district, it's all of the partners that work so hard on that. And there are many, many initiatives this year. And this is a 4-year chip now. So it started in January. So we're seeing a lot of really good progress. The other dashboard that we now have up on our website is what we're calling our performance management dashboard. So we have two of those. One is an internal one with things that we like to keep track of, but there's also an externally facing one for things that we think our residents might like to know. Are we doing a good job or not? And so if you're interested in those, when I send the information to Mr. Bodnar tomorrow, I will send the links to both of those in case you'd like to take a look at those. And if you have any feedback, we'd be happy to hear it. That's really all of my report. Is there anything going on in the township that we're not already working on with you that we could work on with you?
I don't think so. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, with that, we want to officially recess from our trustee meeting and open the hearing for zoning hearing for case ZON-19-01, Portia Development LLC.
Should I read the legal notice first?
Yes,
Okay. Notice is hereby given that the Orange Township Board of Trustees will hold a public hearing on Monday, November 18th, 2019 at 6 p.m. to consider the following application. Rezoning application number zone-19-01 of Portia Development LLC, requesting to rezone one parcel totaling 9.678 plus or minus acres from a farm residential district to a single-family plan residential district to be known as Portia. The subject property is currently owned by Portia Development LLC. The area being rezoned from FR1 to SFPRD is located at 7338 South Old State Road, Lewis Center, Ohio 43035, having parcel number 318-240-01-030-000. So I just have a very brief presentation. Wanted to give an overview of the project. So I think we're all familiar with where this is. It's the northwest corner of Orange Road in South Old State. Many people know it as the old white property. It's pretty much surrounded by residential in the area. According to our 2018 comprehensive land use plan that we did, this is considered in sub-area 10 in the land use plan, which the sub-area encourages remaining the undeveloped area to be residential at 2 units per acre served by centralized sewer, which this case will be. This is the site plan. It consists of 19 single-family homes on the 9.683 acres. The density will be 1.97 units per acre. The development does include a wellness center, which is also a clubhouse per se, with parking spaces and cluster mailbox units. As far as the overall development goes, it does comply with all of our setback requirements, our lot size requirements, our lot coverage. I'll let the applicant explain how it has to be a condominium and kind of a single family use for clarity. But as far as the architectural elements, which I'll scroll through, it's pretty standard with how we've had it for other single-family homes. With the four-sided architecture, they'll be either two-story or ranch-style homes, and they'll be with natural materials. Yes, and then the open space, I know that was a question that came up earlier. The open space will be 2.154 acres at 22.2%. There will be a tree buffer that's proposed, on the north, west, and south property lines. Let me see if there's anything else coming up. They are proposing to have one entry sign along South Old State Road. As far as the access goes, it is only one entrance coming off of South Old State, and then there's an emergency access also on South Old State. As far as the phasing goes, they expect it to be completed within 3 years, and it would all be in one phase. The applicant is not requesting any divergences to our zoning resolution. I wanted to bring up some conversations I've had with technical agencies. The Orange Township Fire Department has not reviewed the most current set, but they've been in conversation, and now that they'll continue on with their review process. We did receive a letter from Bill Cowan, our Director of Operations, for his review, and we've been in conversation with the county engineers as the ponds have been conversation over the zoning commission hearings, and I think they'll have to go through final engineering and make sure they comply with all of their standards in a safe manner, of course. And lastly, our Orange Township Zoning Commission recommended conditional approval unanimously at a 5-0 vote held at their October 15th hearing. The commission's recommendation did include 20 stipulations, and based on Mr. McCarthy and I's review, I believe there was a few stipulations that were not fully addressed, but those have been included in the resolution tonight. And that is all I have. I'll leave it open for the applicant.
Hello, Sarah Radcliffe, attorney with Kephart Fisher on behalf of the applicant. I also have Shafi Alam, who's the engineer with EDB International, as well as a representative of the property owner, Mamadou Rahman. So yeah, we took a look at the stipulations that we received, and I think the few remaining ones were mostly just typos that we can revise in the text. We are willing to accept all of them and fix all of them for the recommendation of the township. So with that, we don't really have any problems unless you guys want to go through them, but they seem pretty straightforward and something we can certainly address and fix.
Do you have any type of presentation? Or?
No, I kind of thought that was all we had to do.
Okay.
I was just here to kind of answer the questions and field anything, but Michelle did a great job explaining kind of what the development looks like. We've been talking with the planning and zoning extensively for several months, getting it down and underneath. So we fit the code and we got it down to no divergences, which I think is a good working relationship with the Planning and Zoning Commission. I think that's all we really needed to do. So without any divergences, I don't really have much more to say. I know with the condominium situation, so with the Delaware County engineer's proposal is that we would dedicate the main street would be private. we would dedicate it and it would be in the name of the condo association to maintain it. So it would not be any responsibility of the Delaware County engineer, which is what they requested, what we have set forth in our plans and our text. On the development plan, which is Exhibit H, per the Delaware County engineer, we have put in their stipulations of exactly what they need to see. So when the plat is once recorded, that will all be in there as well. And it goes through and describes how the private drives will be owned and maintained in perpetuity by the condo association.
And Ms. Radcliffe, I believe it also mentions in there that it will not be a township responsibility.
Correct. It's solely in perpetuity, forever and ever, amen, with the property, with the condo association.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I'd just like to run through the stipulations. As Ms. Radcliffe indicated, I think the application's come a long way. They have finally reached terms with the county engineer as far as the roadway. That was something kind of related. Secondly, they finally received confirmation that their sanitary sewer available, which was a big hallmark for this thing. There were still, going through the application, there were still a few things, as Ms. Radcliffe indicated, many of them are minor but significant enough to bother with. The first was in the disclaimer itself, and we've talked about this before. Somewhere in the past history, one of the applicants had a typo, and it got missed, and now it's being passed down from applicant to applicant. However, it's the sentence that reads, the statement is summarized in the text of the currently effective Orange Township zoning resolution effective June 1, 2019 is presented in this application for format and informational purposes only, and to allow comparative analysis and interpretation of any presented reply. No change or modification of the base zoning resolution itself is intended or will occur as a result of the consideration or approval. We had of approval again, and technically that's a different meaning, unfortunately. So that's the only thing that's going on there. Item 2, again, they did correct one point at which they were referring to the Planning Commission, which is a municipal body, and they did correct, missed one, and so that's what's going on there. The third, there was an addition to the stipulation, and it indicated that the determination of the completion of landscaping would be at the discretion of the developer. The township has just categorically not permitted that, simply because you can run into the situation where the developer thinks it's done and the township doesn't, but he or she has to say so. And the other is where the developer doesn't think it's done and the township does. So nothing good is going to happen in either case. So that
Mike, are you saying that was added to
well, it is approved.
Originally, we were going to leave it up to the condo association for the final approval before we received the certificate of compliance once the buildings were built. So now we're going to make sure that the township gets that kind of checks and balances. So it'll have to be approved by the zoning inspector is what we changed it to.
The sentence before stopped with is completed and approved. The inference being that since zoning certificates are only issued by the zoning inspector, I didn't think it was necessary, but I think it was a valid point to raise. We wanted to determine who it is you say, and now we're saying.
So it says now.
So there were a couple changes resulting from that. One was this to the buffer, the other was to the individual residential landscape. The fourth one is again a relic issue. It's been on the list before, and for some reason they keep measuring from the edge of pavement on one drawing, or indicating from the edge of pavement on one drawing, when our setbacks are all determined from right of way. And I also wasn't confident that the actual location of the edge of pavement had been surveyed, accurately determined. I'm sure the property boundaries were.
It's been changed everywhere. I just want to clarify. It's just in that main entry sign.
That note in the upper.
Little small.
Yep.
Okay, so we just missed a little.
71
mix.
feet from the open.
Yep.
And the last point, this has happened. I noticed it, and as I indicated in my email to the board, I did not push through the code and try to determine each one, lest one of you have at least a small heart attack when you get billed for it. So what I did do is just note the difference and the fact that it does not appear in any of the materials I provided to the township when we were going through the amendment process on the recent amendments. It also does not appear on the version that Ms. Bonnie brought forward from that is available on the internet, and I'm sure she distributes it to applicants as well. So I'm not sure where it came from, but I know what the difference is, and it shouldn't be there. So on that basis, I just came up with number 5, which indicates throughout the development text of the replacement version, where the indicated text of the zoning resolution serving as a template varies from the actual text of the currently effective Orange Township zoning resolution. The actual text shall be substituted in the interpretation, application, and enforcement of the replacement version as modified in this resolution. So whatever other changes may be in there, you might remember we had, probably the best one I can recall is we had an applicant submit I won't say who, but an application to us where the maximum 15-foot height for a sign was stated in the template language of the recorded resolution to be actually 60 feet. And that's kind of my all-time favorite. But these things do happen, and that's one of 2 ways to do it. As I also said, you might have an employee at a much lower rate go forward and A to B, make sure that it matches. But I would leave that to the board's discretion.
We would run a red line if we could. I mean, we went through, I think, line by line. We had 2 people going, but I think if we just ran a red line, it would save all that. So it would check it itself.
Yep.
So we're willing to do that. I think I missed a the instead of so I'll fix that
Oh.
in a few places.
Yep, that was it. Manually doing that, you have my respect.
Yep.
What's your tentative timeline right now, this development?
For build out, we'll start construction probably in the spring. In the spring. Put your name and address.
This is Shafi along with EDB International. I'm the engineer for the project. And as with your blessing, we can start our engineering and hope to start development this, I think it's spring, March, April, weather permits. And if you have any question on this project, I'll be happy to answer.
How long do you think it will take to build out the community?
The community or the infrastructure?
The entire community.
We believe that we should finish it in 2.5 years after we finish the infrastructure.
Okay.
With this place, I don't think that it's gonna take much time to sell this lot.
Okay.
The location and school district and Orange Township, I mean, I think this will go very quick.
Thanks.
And Shafi, just for the information of the public who will get a chance to talk to them, I suspect, this will be in a condominium association given the private road. You have indicated individual lots, but as those units are sold, those lots will be then added to the condominium.
Yes.
And in the meantime, there was a change made to the application indicating that the use of the remaining lots that have not been added will be limited solely to that maintained passive open space. Nothing else is going to go on.
Yes,
No.
that's correct.
So just in case people are wondering about that.
I don't have any more questions right now.
Do we have any comments? You'd like to speak? Yes, public comments? Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Tim Swords. I live at 7200 South Point State Road. I'm the property immediately north of the development. I came to, I believe, all the zoning meetings addressing this issue. And I want to go on record saying I don't have a problem with homes being built next to me. And I don't really have a concern with stormwater runoff or anything. I'm assuming whoever engineers it will take care of that. What I do have an issue with is 2 things. One's a minor issue as far as showing information on property that's not theirs. Say, for example, that drawing right there. I'm not sure what you have the EE1 Just go up a little. Yeah, there's some sort of thing shown coming off the roadway, whether it's an easement, driveway, I don't know. If it is, it's on our property. If it's an easement, it doesn't exist. If it's a driveway, there's some, I'll say, disagreement as to where it's actually located. So I asked them to remove that before. Has not been removed in its entirety. Do you know what that's supposed to indicate?
I believe, Shelley, that's the easement for the Delaware County for the road, correct?
No, off Old State Road.
Right, so E1.
No, the E1, coming off Old State Road.
Yeah.
Oh, this dotted line?
Northeast corner.
This whole strip.
Yeah, right, no, but it's written down.
No, it's not.
I'll
It's,
come over and finish it.
That's the driveway.
They're just showing you where the
Okay, it's not good enough, you're just doing the driveway.
It's not on your property, so you take it over.
Yes.
We're just showing you where the driveway is.
Well, there's a disagreement on that, and that's why I didn't want to show you. If you survey from the intersection.
But that's, we're not getting more of that, we're just showing this. It's not the part of the.
That's not.
This is the driveway, in the Google Maps shows the driveway. So we can delete that.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That the existing
Is that-
driveway.
Is that an existing driveway?
I think Mr. McCarthy.
Well, it is, but it's shown in the wrong location with respect to the property
It's
line.
not actually there.
If I could, Mr. Swartz, you did appear, and we certainly all went through this experience. Can we get back to where we were on the drawing? I don't know how that thing works.
Michelle, there you go.
The county engineer, my understanding, and the director, correct me if I'm wrong, county engineer specifically requested of the applicant, not the applicant's initiative, that there be an easement provided at this location so that there could be a connection if in the future, not just be today or tomorrow or this year or 10 years from now, but just to maintain potential. So that there would be a potential to extend on up into the north, or west and commercial homes. I should have done this. As far as this little square here, it appeared to me, but I understand the concern. It appeared to me when an engineer does a drawing, he will usually indicating the width, he'll put two markers and then he'll put a line between, and then say in this case 70 feet. I think it's 60. And 60 feet. Yeah, and unfortunately, it kind of looks like that easement's continuing on your property, correct?
With the driveway being shown.
Yes.
I would like it to be removed so that it shows it is
Oh,
really.
okay, so it's your driveway you're concerned about, not the lot.
Correct.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
driveway portion, which is not relevant to the
We
driveway.
can delete that.
My concern with that is,
That's the.
depending on whether you go by what they show there or plats and property lines, it's shown like it would be 2 feet from the edge of our driveway to their property line. It's actually more about 10 to 12 feet. And we have very mature trees. You can see them right there. I
So
don't know if
it's
there's-
incorrect. It's not, it's actually farther out. It's incorrectly drawn. Is that what you're
I
saying?
believe it is, which is why if you take it off and they do everything from the intersection, which is what they should, as opposed to maybe someone saying, oh, here's this driveway, I can start clearing all this. It just, to me, would help give me a little more comfort that nothing we had accidentally removed.
It's outside the property.
Okay, and that's fine. But like I say, I just would like that removed. My
Mr.
bigger,
Swartz, if I could, would this answer it for you, if the board were to consider adding another stipulation that indicate that that you should delete that they should delete the indication of Swartz driveway from all plans?
yes, absolutely.
Absolutely solid.
I mean, they mostly removed it, but not everything.
And is Miss Bonnie here? I knew you were running it somewhere. I couldn't see where. Let's see, Ms. Bonnie, would you want corrected plans then?
Yes, I would like this.
It's your call. I mean, you could, that or you could just interlineate it yourself.
It would just be one final copy.
And then, my bigger concern is, that what they haven't been showing on the drawings. You're all aware there were some roadway improvements to South Old State Road that just got wrapped up. Those extended basically a little bit past our property. As part of that work, they eliminated drainage ditches in our property, put a catch basin in on the north side, and then a catch basin in on the south side, which is actually in the Porsche property. They have not been showing that catch basin. I did also ask them, I think it's very important to be shown. They did finally show it on one drawing, which was the utility plan. But again, it's not shown in the correct location. My concern is that catch basin is tied into a 36-inch diameter pipe, this way, that goes underneath Old State Road and drains a significant amount of water from several properties to the north of us, a large section of Summerfield Village, as well as where the barn was, north of that from their field. I have spoken with the Delaware County Engineer's Office, and they indicate they didn't have any kind of information like that, and they also said they may not have considered it. But I really have an issue with where the entrance is shown with respect to that, in terms of basically damming up what little water retaining capacity there is in the ditch. I did bring some pictures. This is a picture showing where the catch basin is. This is the property line. Should be a utility pole. So kind of you can see from that, if you go to the utility plan, if you ever pull that up. I believe it's the only plan that shows it.
I'm sorry, I didn't upload it.
But it's the only plan that shows it. Go back to the number, it doesn't have this shading. And they show the catch basin being right there. It's not.
Was that dictated by the county engineer, you said?
Well, the county engineer said it wasn't on their drawings when they reviewed what they had to review. And honestly, it's the planning department that looks at these. Roadway department would have been the ones responsible for installing that. The picture shows the little bit of draining, water holding capacity of the areas. We had 2 rain events this past spring, and I apologize for the quality of the picture because both of them were after hours. This is a picture, a snapshot taken from the video that my daughter took as we were turning in, and you'll be able to tell more from this one. These are 2 different rain events. The water goes from the center line of the roadway all the way inside our gates, which is about 90 feet or more. It's a huge amount of water that collects here. And my concern is by putting the entrance with a curb, and I'm assuming they're not going to dip down, well, maybe they are, but I'm assuming it's going to be more of a smooth entrance, that it's going to create somewhat of a damming effect for water standing on that side.
Has that been addressed by the county engineer? Because won't they have
No, it has
alternate?
not been addressed by the county.
They will, though.
In the past, this is a vacant land right now, but not being used. Once this development plan gets in place, the Delaware County engineer he's already reviewed the plans.
But he didn't have
He's
any
not approving the
information.
final.
He didn't have any information on the cat. I just spoke to Mr. Pacine
So
today.
we wouldn't have gotten this far, and we're not going to be able to develop a piece of property without all of these things in place. I think all of the problems that you're experiencing right now are because the land is not developed. Once you go into development, all of these things get fixed. So it'll
Other
only be
than-
better than it is right now.
It's the downstream. I don't know how you can make water flow.
But the county
upstream.
engineer will, that's kind of out of our control. The county engineer will actually be the one to review all that and later on. So if you have.
I understand. And what they said is they may require you to move the entrance. So.
Yeah, and
yes.
they will not allow, they won't allow issues like that. So I would
And
say
they have
something
approved
with
this
them.
plan, they have not said anything about moving that entrance has been approved by the Delaware County engineer.
Planning.
John Pacine.
Right.
So.
Which again, he's not
We wouldn't have
involved in the
gotten this
road.
far, we wouldn't have gotten this far with this plan, having gone back to them all these different times. That entrance, showing where it is, it can't go any farther north, it can't go any farther south, that's where it's been approved. So I think all of the flooding will be fixed once the development.
Yeah, and that's out of the trustees' control, the engineering part is, so I would make sure to stay in contact with them to make sure that gets fixed.
I absolutely will, but I
Yeah.
wanted to at least bring it to your attention because,
Thank you.
again, that into Old State Road flooding, and that has the potential to make this way worse. And I don't see how you can address it from an upstream side. When it's not all just coming from your property. Again, it's a collection point for a huge amount of
Because
area.
development is not permitted to make a drainage situation worse at post-development. That's not allowed. The engineer is supposed to ensure that.
Okay, and I do plan to stay in touch with
Yeah, please do.
Mr. Baraz and Mr. Pacini.
And if you don't get answers, then you can reach out to our administrator also. Sometimes we can help facilitate those discussions.
I appreciate that, but really, like I say, I don't have, my issue is not with a development being located there.
Yeah, I understand
It's
your
just the
concern.
physical location of the entrance that I see as being problematic. I mean, there are other people who bring up the whole traffic aspect of it, just the drainage aspect.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Guess we do not. Any other questions?
So Mike, are we adding 5 stipulations on, the ones that you just?
Well, we've got five in the can right now. What I did while you were discussing this is drafted 2 more. The stipulations are incorporated by resolution, by reference into the resolution. And Ms. Radcliffe has indicated that those 5 were acceptable. The language I came up on the other 2, and this can be changed by the board, is number 6 would be applicant shall delete indications of Sellard's driveway from plans. And number 7 being the corrected copies of the plans shall be provided to the zoning office prior to issuance of any zoning permit for this development. So in that fashion, everyone's got a motivation to work through it.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, it works. And Michelle, do you agree with that too?
Mike, how about the exit entrance on Old State? I don't care for that at all. And the traffic issues, I can't imagine that the people in the area would be in support of that. And only one way in and out. Michelle, is it right in, right out? What if you're going north on Old State? Do you turn left into the development? And are they going to have a left turn lane?
There's a central lane, you did the traffic study, and currently yes, approved those right in the
I don't understand a center lane. Is there a center lane there now?
Yes.
For right or left? Yeah, I still don't care for it. And the county engineer said no to Orange Road. And what was the reason for that?
I think it would be too close.
That's much closer.
I feel like Old State's too close to the intersection.
Well, but look at the difference, like between, it's much further north than, is that across from, Abbey Knoll?
That's a fire
The entrance, yeah, does the road, the entrance actually go, what's across from it? Is there another road, or across the street?
Well, Abigail was just north of the fire station,
So it's even farther up, so it doesn't,
South Carolina.
it dead ends.
Could you
then,
point it out to me, please? On
So
that
they're
picture.
like the very top right. So it kind of dead ends into the, yeah.
And we know how much Abbey Knoll backs up, right? We know how much Old State backs up every morning and every rush hour.
I know,
And we're adding 19 more homes to that corner.
well, as you know, and for better or for worse, the property owner has the right to develop their property to the highest and best use permitted by law. And if we did not approve this, considering there's no divergences, we would get sued and we would lose. So I know, it's a tough situation.
We did have a traffic memo that gives you a little bit of.
Yeah, I looked at that, that doesn't mean I agree with it.
Well, the people living there are gonna have a hard time getting in. and
They
out.
are.
I mean,
It's-
buyer beware.
And that's when we were still at 20. I don't know the big difference, but we're down to 19 now, so that changed a little bit. Generally be, I think, empty nesters is the main thing, so, I mean, they're going to and from work is gonna be different.
Oh, are they empty nesters at the market? Okay.
So it's not like they're gonna leave at 9, come back at 5. I think they're,
I think empty nesters are like half the traffic volume. Is that correct? Or less?
I don't wanna see yes or no on the record, but it will be.
It's substantially less. Plus you don't have teenagers and
And kids
extra-
waiting for the school bus or coming in.
and coming in and out, yeah. Okay, well that's kind of reassuring.
Mr. Swords?
Tim Swords, 7200 South Old State Road again. When I was speaking with Mr. Pacine today, I discussed the possibility of Orange Road as an entrance. And at first he said, well, it would have to be a right in, right out. And then he said he recalled that that was maybe when there was going to be a church there. And he did say he recalled telling them that they couldn't put it there. However, I do know variances are granted for various things. It seems like the lesser of two evils to go in from Orange Road. To me, it would be safer and a little, so I don't know if it's worth having them ask for a variance to that effect. Because I think, I'm surprised there aren't many more people here for the zoning meetings. There were quite a few people who showed up voicing their concern about the traffic aspect. And like I said, I wasn't getting into that because there was so much concern raised by others that I figured I didn't have to.
Yeah, the
Apparently-
traffic is also the responsibility of the county engineer, so I guess they give their best recommendation based on the circumstances.
Correct. Anyway, thank you.
Just for the record, you know, the property owners are entitled to an economically viable use of their property. And that's just the law. The application of that lies with this board, and we've done it for years. I'm not going to find a way to do it again one way or the other.
I move the adoption of the following resolution, whereas the zoning commission, by its motion adopted on October 15, 2019, recommended the conditional approval of zoning application ZON-19-01 Horseshoe Development LLC, the property owner, and requesting the rezoning of 9.683 acres from Farm Residential District FR-1 to a single-family planned residential district, and whereas the version of the application, which was the subject of the motion, was that submitted by the applicant in a hard copy binder titled Horseshoe Development, Single Family Planned Residential District Rezoning Application and Development Plan, the pages of which are stamped received with Orange Township zoning above in October 01, 2019, superimposed over received by Orange Township zoning, together with those 24 by 36 versions of those drawings listed in attachment A of the motion, each of which are stamped received with Orange Township zoning above in October 8, 2019, superimposed over received by Orange Township zoning, all as modified by those stipulations listed for correction modification in the statement of stipulations attached thereto as attachment B and incorporated by reference therein, collectively the development plan, all of which stipulations were agreed to by the owner applicant, and whereas a replacement version of the development plan in a loose bound binder form bearing the same title, the pages of which are each stamped received with Orange Township zoning above and November 8, 2019, superimposed over received by Orange Township zoning, has been received from the applicant, which version addresses the comments and concerns of the zoning commission and fully resolves the vast majority of them. Whereas the Board of Township Trustees, following the required public hearings, determines that the replacement version should be adopted and approved with modification. Now therefore be it resolved that the replacement version of the development plan is adopted and approved with those modifications agreed to by the owner applicant and listed in attachment 1 of this resolution. Attachment 1 of this resolution, all of which materials are incorporated by reference herein.
Is it? So that includes these that we just did, right?
That's 107.
Second,
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Nap?
yes?
Trustee Triana?
I'm sorry, I have to vote no on that. Application.
No, do not.
All right. With that, that closes the zoning hearing for case ZON-1901, Township Development LLC. And I make the motion.
So wait a minute, so why are we going to executive session right now?
I'm not making a motion to return back to session.
Okay, are we doing that later?
No, this is good executive now.
Why are we pushing that up? Is there a reason?
Yes, we have somebody that we have contacted.
Okay, can we try to make it quick, because the residents that might want to be watching the meeting, I don't want to keep them too long.
Certainly, or if you wish to, jockey it around a little bit, you certainly can, whatever you work with.
I make the motion to return to regular session.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triana?
Yes.
Trustee Nap?
Yes.
6:45.
Maybe they're leaving.
I make the motion to go into executive session to consider confidential information directly related to negotiations with other political subdivisions, respective requests for economic development assistance that is to be provided or administered under Chapter 715 of the Ohio Revised Code, and that the board determines executive session is necessary to protect the interests of the applicants. Most possible investment or expenditure of public funds to be made in connection with the economic development project, and to consider employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and a conference with attorneys of the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject of pending or imminent court action.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Nap?
Yes.
Trustee Triana?
Yes.
Thank you, trustee. We're turning off the equipment.
You got two trustee files. Oh, that's why. Okay. That's why you got this. All right, so with that. I would like to invite Mr. Bodnar to join us. Is there anyone else to join us? Mr. Bodnar,
Ms. Sheetram, Fire Chief,
Chief Noble.
I believe that'll be all. Did you figure it out yet there, Bill? You don't have to break it. Oh. Were you here earlier? Okay, we're getting ready to broadcast live on YouTube, stream live. There's the camera, it focuses on the board. You won't be seen on camera unless you go to the left turn. Just so you know, I am bound by policy to share that. I think I can start hearing my voice. Okay, trustees, we're streaming part 2 of the November 19th, 18th trustees meeting. I don't want to make it sound like we've been here for a day.
I make a motion to return to regular session.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes.
All right, next up on the agenda, we have approval of minutes for several dates here under the new format. It was approved at last meeting.
My only question was, how about the journals that go with each one?
Have we received the journals?
I have a resolution. Is the journal to follow, or do we know Mr. Bodnar?
I have no information on that topic. For sure.
I think we're gonna have to table that because it was my understanding, we need to have the journals for us to approve. We can't just approve the video.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
To the next meeting, which takes us to zoning report, Ms. Bonnie.
Yes. So we do have quite a few new items on the zoning report. So tonight we heard the portion application, which was approved by the trustees. Tomorrow at November 19th at 7 p.m., the zoning commission is supposed to hear the signage amendment application. However, I've been informed that they plan on intending recessing that application to a further date. So we are going to utilize that regular hearing to approve some pending minutes. I know some of us have been concerned with getting that through, and we're also going to ask the zoning commission to approve the final agreement for the zoning diagnostics review, so we can start working on that project. Next is Tuesday, December 3rd at 7 p.m. the zoning commission. We do have a new application on our zone -1903. The Evans Farm is proposing another amendment for their single family plan residential district. Following that is Tuesday, December 17th at 7 p.m. for zoning commission is yet a new application, zone -19-04. That is plan amendment for the Little Bear Clubhouse. So that'll be their first hearing on that. And lastly, on Thursday, December 19th at 6:30 p.m., we do have two applications for BZA. One is a use variance for the clubhouse at Lewis Center Ravines. I believe that was tabled at the last meeting because there was no representation. Following that is an area variance application for a swimming pool in the Wilshire subdivision. And that is all I have for this zoning.
For the purchase order?
Yes, I think it's called a approval of purchase now. It's not a purchase order. We have an appropriation for this. I think we learned that in the last meeting when I did.
Oh, it just says approval purchase. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it exceeds the 10,000, but.
There's two different spellings here from the agenda, the template. What's the zoning?
So it is CALFE with an L, CALFEE.
Michelle, you and I spoke about this, I think, and I sent an email out as well. Have you talked to Chris at all about possibly specifying more what the deliverables for by stage would be?
I have not. I didn't. Does that need to be in the final agreement?
Only if you want to have it enforceable. That's been my point. Right now, I'm not sure what, you might get one email and you might, I don't know what it would say.
I'll call Mr. Betts tomorrow.
I would
see if
suggest.
we can have that in there.
And then, the contract itself with the funding from the board, we'll move forward
We
with
approve
approval of
the
zoning
electronic
commissions.
record of the proceeding.
I think that might go fairly quickly. They should be able to tell you what they expect to give you.
Where's the certificate?
Once, now, if you make your own copies beyond that, the additional assumptions say that you're paying for that, but the question is, what do you receive?
Okay.
And by stage.
Yes, I'll check on that.
Okay, but we're good with moving forward.
As far as the purchase, it will be 20,000.
So I make the motion to authorize a purchase from Calfree Zoning, the amount of $20,000 for zoning diagnostic review.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Brand?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Maintenance and Parks, Mr. Cowan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maintenance report, Aaron and the guys have been, getting equipment prepared for winter months. We've done a lot of repairs on our dump trucks and plow trucks, replaced a lot of our hydraulic hoses. Everything seems to be in pretty good repair at this point. Ready to roll when the snow comes. Working with Amanda, we're looking at a new hire to replace a gentleman who retired recently.
Yeah, I can take over from there. We did receive all the pre-employment background checks. Just received the last one today, so those are outside the trustee meeting agenda, and there's not necessarily a major rush. We will have something to the board by the first meeting in December, which is December the 2nd, our recommendation, and a resolution prepared. We'll work with Mr. McCarthy on getting everything ready. We're excited for this applicant to hopefully get started soon and that position filled, and we've had one so of it already, so having that extra power out filled and getting them in that position, so when the snow does rise, it'll be nice to have all that ready to go.
And members of the board, if I could chime in, Mr. Cowan and I have had some discussion on how he is looking to restructure the department to which he oversees so that he can make adequate replacements to people who are no longer employed or under that blanket of authority.
Mr. Cowan, have you received from Mr. Betts yet the contracts regarding the new plow truck?
No, so, early on in the year, working with Mr. Fowler, and then it got transferred to Mr. Betts. And finally, Mr. Betts advised me to send a letter to the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Agency, according to Ohio law, which was done. We never heard back from anybody. So,
It takes almost a year to order one of those trucks, as you know.
yeah,
And I know we really needed one this year.
I know. So Aaron's been in contact with the builders of the truck. We're gonna try to get it started all over again and see where it ends up. Yeah.
There's nobody to call or?
Just a couple of weeks ago, actually, we got a call from the dealer, and I think he's in Cincinnati.
No, at Ohio Department of Transportation.
Not from that. No, I was supposed to get some kind of a letter in response, and they were supposed to send the dealer a letter that we were interested in buying a truck from them.
And this is through their cooperative purchase.
Yes, follow-up calls, nothing was ever, I can share that letter with you, I have it in my.
But have you left messages? Have you called their offices? Have you tried to get a hold of somebody?
I have.
Okay.
So, we're gonna try to start the process again. The dealer said he has a truck ready to start building for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I could, I know a guy, and maybe tomorrow you and I can circle and kind of talk to this guy and see before we start the whole gambit over again. All right. If he can't help.
And even maybe talk to Chris Betts if there might be something more to that. I've just never heard of that before.
About the parks. So in your packet for the meeting, I think you have one of these charts that Mary Ann put together for us. I go over that real quick, and the purpose of this, we're trying to get everything on a rec desk with our rentals and our pool passes for the next season. As part of that, we wanted to take a look at maybe making some changes to how we lease the three community facilities. The first one is North Orange Park Community Room. Right now we have a $100 deposit. The change would be no deposit, no cash deposit. If we go to rec desk, they would electronically sign a document that we could withdraw from their credit card any expenses incurred due to damages. So that would alleviate doing a deposit, which causes the fiscal office to make a reimbursement. It really gets kind of messy just to learn a deposit and reimbursement. That would help that out. We're also looking at, instead of doing 2-hour blocks, we're looking at doing 4 hours or more a block. The same hourly rate, but a longer time span. And we run into this just in my brief tenure here. We just don't have much time to get in, get set up, have the parties, whatever, in 2 hours. It just doesn't work out. So we're looking at doing a longer time span. On the North Orange Park Community Room again, we're looking, asking for your consideration to rent to non-residents. Mary Ann said, graduation time is a huge push for those buildings. People are really scrounging for places to hold parties and things. We'd like to keep to township residents if we could. The next facility, Township Hall, weekend rental. Same type of thing, we charge $100 deposit. Rec desk, we wouldn't have a deposit, they would just electronically sign. They would be responsible for damages. Also, in that same subject category, maximum occupancy, a few blocks down. The agreement currently says occupancy load for the locker room, use of chairs is 244, with tables 114, and standing 311. Just through experience, it's like 60 people with tables and chairs about the max, because people want to have room to move around when they rent these rooms. Mary Ann said they put up a DJ table and a food table, and it just takes up a lot of room. Same for the Thompson room. We'd just like to reduce the amount of people, the maximum occupancy, 30 to 40 people. North Orange Park Shelter. No big changes there, except we're not going to require a deposit, but Marion noted in the block at the right, there's just no way to know if a renter cleaned up or not. It's just difficult to police. And with that shelter, we'd like to expand the times as well. Instead of 3 hours, go to 4-hour blocks for renters per day. And again, the same thing. We just think it'll do better. It'll save us manpower from having to clean up so often.
I like the no deposits because the amount of checks we write and returning those deposits is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
So just want to let you know what we're looking at, and we'd like to try that out. If it doesn't work, we can
Change it.
appreciate your consideration. And that's all I have.
I would like to tag on to the park report, Mr. Cowan. The holiday event team has been actively engaged in getting everything set up for the holiday event on December the 1st. And we've had a few prep meetings. We have another one this week. Mr. Mike Kelly has been great at helping me do a lot of the outside legwork today. They put up a lot of outside lights since it was great weather and it was warm, and they could bring the lift over. I feel it's going to be a great event, and it's just hope for good weather. Hopefully we can see everybody there. But yeah, things are coming together great, and we'll wrap everything up next week for the event on December the 1st.
Thank you.
Next. My name is John Hartwell, resident of Orange Township, 2455 McCumber Lane. I wanted to just briefly speak during this time of the park report. I'm here today representing organization that myself and 2 other residents of Orange Township created some 18 months ago, Olentangy United. This is a youth soccer club, a 501 with 501c3 status nonprofit entity that was created and designed to help improve quality of life for residents of Orange Township. In 18 months of existence, we've gone from obviously 0 to 500 children and players within our organization, vast majority of which live in Orange Township. We couldn't have done this without the support of all of the board members and specifically the township providing us with one field space over at the North Orange Park Aquatic Center. We've been very creative with using that space over these 18 months to be able to provide the facilities necessary to provide the experience that we provide for young players ranging in age from 7 to 17 or 18 years of age. As you can imagine, with the growth in the community and the growth of this organization in such a short period of time, we have been planning on and looking forward to the opening of North Road Park. The soccer fields that have been designed and laid out and presented to the community for what that park was being created for. We're very excited for that. We are under the gun in terms of time frame and access to field space for this coming spring season. Our field lease agreement for North Orange Park has come to an end. During our time here, these field use agreements have been under calendar year schedules when that should not be the case.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to leave. I have a flight to catch, so I apologize.
The field use agreements schedule has not aligned with the traditional soccer season. Soccer season runs from August till the end of October in the fall, and then that same season picks up again in the spring, beginning in March and ending at the end of May. So it is my recommendation to the board and to the trustees and to future field lease agreement schedules that particularly in this space, those field lease agreements should run from August 1 to June 1st so that there is not an interruption in the middle of the season. Right now, we don't have field space for the spring season that will be beginning in March, and those games are scheduled in the second week of January. So we're top priority right now is to get new field lease agreements, not only just for that one space that we have at North Orange Park, but hopefully and excited about North Road and the spaces there. I've been coming in on a regular basis to try and improve and provide guidance and assistance with how best to efficiently manage that North Road Park. I'm still waiting to be able to sit down and provide my experience in a variety of areas, how to make that run as smoothly and as seamlessly as possible for the citizens and residents of Orange Township. So I guess primary comment is to bring attention to the need to get these field lease agreements ASAP. Liberty Township, where the previous community rec-based organization has pushed all of their youth soccer over to forcing residents of Orange Township to travel to the neighboring township to have their children participate in recreational and travel soccer. Again, that was a secondary reason why we came into existence, is to provide the citizens of Orange Township with a very common need, a platform to provide children with competitive platforms to grow within the game and as young athletes from the ages of 7 to 17. We are working closely with the Olentangy School District to be an add-on service to that gem that draws citizens to want to move to Orange Township. School district public school systems do not provide organized soccer before high school level, so we are providing that space, that platform that they are not providing to the citizens in the community. So again, top priority, we're in desperate need for field lease agreements for the spring. We're hoping that we could have something similar to what our neighboring township does. They offer field lease agreements that are in the 3-year time frame. Not sure if that's down the proper thing to do, but just as a comparison, their field lease agreements are for 3 years. 2, I read some documents in the Delaware publications that there's already discussions about taking away from the soccer fields that were presented as what the use of North Road Park was, and I would love an opportunity to sit down and explain how I think that would be a drastic, create a drastic problem for the residents of the community in a variety of ways. There's limited space over there. Green space is absolutely critical for these types of activities, whether it's soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, kickball, dodgeball, things that we're able to have the children of our community participate in. Taking away from those green spaces is very difficult. We have many unused tennis courts being used around all of our schools within the area. I think that we should look at what we have in place currently before we pave over some very precious grass. In terms of things also being discussed, whether it's a concession stand, in the decade that I've been working closely at Liberty Township, I've never once used their concession stand at Liberty Park. So there are things that I think that we can discuss and add value to the residents of North Orange Township, or to Orange Township. And I would love to volunteer and provide as much information with my experiences in this space over the past 8 years. And again, I look forward to working closely with the Orange Township trustees, both current and future. And if there's anything I can ever do to help in this particular space, I'm more than welcome. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate that. And I know going forward the next phase, we're definitely be looking for input from residents and obviously the users at North Road on those plans. Anything to add?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Public safety, Chief Noble.
Good evening. Just a couple items. First one, to accept a $25 drug market card donation from David and Tony Jones. And then item B is to then and now purchase orders for legal fees.
Make the motion to accept a donation from a gift card from Drug Mart in the amount of $25 for David and Tommy Jones.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Make the motion to authorize the issuance of a then and now purchase order to Ice Miller LLP for $6,921.56 for accounting and legal fees.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?
Make the motion to authorize the issuance of a then and now purchase order to Ice Miller LLP for $13,568.75 for accounting and legal fees.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp? Trustee Rivers, if I could interject, Trustee Knapp, upon her departure, had asked that the board consider a motion to accept gift cards and cookie trays from Park Place Village to Fire Station 361 for Thanksgiving.
We would welcome that.
So it would be a motion to accept gift cards and cookie trays from Park Place Village for the Fire Station 361.
Right? So I make the motion to accept cookie trays and what was the second? Gift cards from Park Place Village for the Fire Station 361.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp? Thank you, members of the board. I apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill, does other groups other than Columbus United rent those fields in the other parks? Columbus United is not the only one, correct?
No,
That's what I thought. So they didn't all leave and go to Powell?
And last year.
That confused me.
Just for a quick note, we didn't schedule until February last year. And I realized they may set their schedule in January, but we didn't schedule until February.
Okay.
But I think he makes a good point. You know, that would be hard. They're trying to schedule games for the summer, and they have no place in which to do that. So maybe there's an opportunity to explore something different.
Next, we have a then and now purchase order. Make a motion to authorize the issuance of a then and now purchase order to Michael J. McCarthy for $45,501.35 for legal services.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes. Does it need to say May and August on the resolution or not necessary?
I don't think it was specified in the others. I don't really care.
Okay.
But, I don't think the other one specified it.
Okay, all right,
It
thank
said
you.
for legal services and accounting expenses.
So I voted yes.
All right.
Okay, Trustee Knapp. Thank you.
And administrative report, Mr. Bodnar.
Yes, the first thing is, Bureau of Workers' Compensation. I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Cheatham to explain.
Before you have a resolution, it's for the 2020 UWC premium. You pay ahead of time, you don't pay in arrears anymore, so that is due here in December. We pay it at one time when we pay it online, so we get some discounts by paying it at one lump sum, and then we get a Go Green discount as well. We pay the full amount, and then the rebates come back to us after the first of the year. Do you have any questions?
No.
Make a motion to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation in the amount of $167,552 for the 2020 premium.
Second?
Trustee Rivers?
Yes.
Trustee Triano?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is a position description, creating a position actually and a position description for a receptionist. With the township looking at the renovations to the front office area, the reorganization of the individuals who are currently in that area can take place. With that reorganization taking place, it opens up the door for another position of a reception person, who is the face, and we have had this discussion before, the face of the township, to meet people, to route calls, to do the duties that are typically known as reception duties. We have crafted this position description to obviously take on other opportunities or other tasks if needed, but I think it will certainly fill the bill for what we see at this point in time as being necessary for that position.
And I will tag on to what Mr. Bodnar said. We worked with Mr. McCarthy to make sure everything was in proper order. He prepared the resolution. One is to create the position and one is to accept the position description. And then once approved, I can work with Mr. Bodnar getting this out, getting it posted, and the position filled.
We'd like to do it in concert with the renovations project so that you don't want the renovations project completed and then no one start. And you don't want somebody to start early without the renovations project. So this allows us to do it concurrently.
I'd like a little more time to review it. Is it okay if we could just hold this to the next meeting?
Whatever the board wishes.
And if you have any questions, just let us know.
Yeah,
And we did also work with the front administration staff and some local Central Ohio townships as well, just to make sure it was same or similar language. But as Mr. Bodnar said, it's pretty open and broad, so if there's other things that we need to push this position into as well. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is just a quick update on healthcare benefits. Some information was shared. I was hoping to have more information to share with you. That information that I had previously said was forthcoming is not going to be forthcoming. We are tweaking and fine-tuning the information that we have received thus far, and I should have some final information for you very soon. And at that point, what I'd like to consider at that time is the possibility of a special meeting to simply address this item, and it would be a quick opportunity to finalize it so that we can move forward with the benefit.
If we're just renewing it though, does it really need, because from the email today, it looks like really there aren't any options except to take advantage of the 4%.
Correct. And there's two options under that 4% option, but I still need the board's approval to do it unless you wish to do it tonight. I don't have a resolution prepared, so it would be,
So I don't see any issue with why it can't be at the next meeting, I guess is what I was saying.
And I will tag on to Mr. Gardner said, we do have a healthcare committee meeting that has been working to help us vet out any information that's come forth. We're going to share this information with them also. We are only looking at the medical renewal because every other plan, we're in a current contractual multi-year. So if that's the case, and if that's the board's direction, then it would just be looking at that.
I think what you were trying to get at is why the special meeting, why not wait till the next meeting? Because time is of the essence, and to wait for the next meeting is not sufficient time.
Okay.
That's the
There
reason.
you go.
To get it out to open enrollment and to have everybody do it.
I guess my point was if it's just a renewal,
Just do it and be done with it.
it's still, you need to get it done
We
sooner before.
didn't find out until yesterday exactly what that looked, or earlier today. Yeah, earlier today, when that information was shared, what that exactly looked like. So I apologize for that, the way it went.
So if we're just renewing it, so we just want to pass it tonight?
But there was two options within it.
There's two options. Yeah.
And we don't have any resolutions prepared either.
And with the sensitivity.
With it as well, to be reviewed ahead of time. So it'll be
I
a
got
contractual year, so there may be some legal involvement in reviewing that to tie it back to, I would say to sign something or review it, or approve it, and maybe there may be something we're missing. I would love to, but
Okay.
I can work with Mr. Godnar, we can make sure we.
We'll have it all in a nice package for you. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the energy management agreement with Trey Bell. This agreement basically spells out our relationship with Trey Bell. Ms. McCarthy crafted this resolution.
Well, I reviewed it. It was prepared by Travel.
Okay, you reviewed it, sorry. Anything else? No? Okay.
It has to do with the gas aggregation, correct?
It has to do with both. That's why they're calling it energy instead of electric or gas now.
Okay, I got it.
And so I'd ask for the board to adopt that, as Trey Bell has been a good partner throughout the course of this relationship.
I make the adoption of the following resolution, whereas Trebell LLC engages in the business of procuring energy and/or energy-related services and products, and whereas the board desires to authorize the execution of an energy management agreement engaging the services of Trebell for the above and related purposes as stated in said agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Township Trustees of Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, that an energy management agreement with Trebell LLC is hereby approved, and the board enter into and execute such agreement with that entity. Be it further resolved that such agreement shall be in the form submitted to the board, a copy of which is attached hereto as Exhibit 1, the content of which is incorporated into this resolution by reference and is fully repeated herein. Be it further resolved that all members of the board shall execute the agreement on behalf of the board. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in open meeting of the board, and all deliberations of this board and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including RC 121.22. Be it further resolved, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon adoption.
Second.
And for the board, if I could, just for the board, in looking at it, you might have noticed this. Probably, I think, in my view anyway, the most noticeable change was they did add a rather significant section on confidentiality. So,
But you didn't craft it, they did.
well, they crafted it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we pointed that out earlier.
Yeah,
Make
no,
sure that's
that's fine.
continually done.
But the thing is, I would suggest everyone read it carefully, but it's in line with what I've seen in other documents.
And I got a second on that from Ms. Trajano, so I have Mr. Rivers,
Yes.
Trustee Trajano,
Yes.
Trustee Knapp. Sorry about that, I got sidetracked. The next item is a signal light. I've shared information on that signal light. There's no action for the board to approve or to legislate today. This is just an FYI that the township is going in concert or in cooperative agreement with a local business to have a traffic signal at North Central Road and East Orange Road. and they're going to take 25% of the cost on that. That should be prepared for the next trustee meeting, I do believe. The last item I have are the renovations to Township Hall. If you fix your eyes up on the smart board, there is the submission that I believe you have received also that shows the finishings for the front office area. And this would be the reception area, not where the reception person would be, but the entranceway into the Township Hall. I wanted to make sure that the logo was presented. When you walk in the door, that's what you would see as you walk in the back door. As you can tell, there's a alcove as you enter to your right. That's where there'll be seating, and this is what you'd see as you enter. There's the alcove that would be to your right, allowing for some seat and some additional decorations on the wall. Here we've incorporated the leaf and the orange verbiage logo, or verbiage logo, well, orange logo. There's actually a badge too. And that comes to this one. And this is utilizing more of the green. You notice these colors are soft colors. These are colors that were provided through the branding guide. You notice the floorway that isn't carpeted for longer wear and for better wear. Now collection of grease and grime for many people that come in that have grease and grime. We have a huge array of people that come in from all different walks of life in our front area. This will keep it cleaner and make it easier for cleaning. There again, the incorporation of the leaf and but not the township logo, but the badge. This is the second to last one. This is a combination of the two. You see it's basically green or orange, and it's the Orange Township on the back wall across from the reception person or the badge. Oh, that is the last one, I'm sorry. So there's 4 choices, A, B, C, or D. And what would you like? Do you like A?
I like B and D. The orange, why I love it, I feel like, well, it's orange.
I get it.
The green
I felt the same way.
The green is a little bit more softer, not so loud, a little more conducive to an office, in my opinion. I am curious what Amanda's left with the other. Michelle, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I was curious what the in-house favorite is.
personally, I like the logo more than the badge.
Mm-hmm.
The orange is a little bright.
Right, that'd be to see that every day. And so, what does D or B have the logo?
I mean, I like the top. I guess if you were gonna do orange, I'd probably do like one, not the whole.
Well, I think you have orange in the logo.
So C has the logo, but then it has the orange. Are we orange or green for the wall?
Yeah, we have plenty of options.
What's the?
When I proposed this initially, I will tell you, what I had asked for was the logo as you walked in, so you would see Orange Township, and then the badge on the back wall. That's what I had asked for originally. They incorporated the leaf to break that up a little bit, which I have to say is not an unpleasant characteristic.
You could also just flip it and put the logo instead of the badge in option D. That's not a big deal.
Absolutely. So we have A, B.
Lee, could you maybe get a feel for the people that work up front, which one they like?
Okay, keeping in mind that the people that are working up front will not be working up front when this is there, just so you know.
Well, but everyone's going to be working in this, and I'd hate to pick something that they all absolutely hate.
Okay, and then this will move to the next meeting for determination?
Yeah, I agree. I think C and D, the white, is that what we like?
I was B and D.
B and D?
I was not going for the orange walls.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I think the concept in the last page, but as far as the colors, there's orange, or I feel the same. I'd like to get the staff's input because they're going to they're here every day and be curious to see
What if
what
you
they're
did
doing.
D with the logo or something like that?
Right, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And you still have like the orange chairs, I mean, it pops the color.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Look at B though, Michelle, there's more wall space painted and less white. I feel like that makes it, softer and less government looking. Does that make sense?
Would you want that to be like a gray wall then instead?
Yeah, and just
Or so
change the badge to the logo. I like the leaves on that wall. I'd still put the orange chairs, those are white, but, that's my personal opinion, it'll make the office softer.
Then I'll let Ms. Bonnie run with this and share that around with everybody.
Do you mind them asking, would you mind asking them just their opinion, since they have to work in it every day?
I mean, I don't mind asking. I haven't really been involved with this, but I mean,
And I'm sure they could make some revisions as example for us and send that over.
Yeah. Just get feedback if you don't mind. I think Lee's passing the buck, but
I'm happy to work together.
there you go, good answer.
That's all I have.
All right, I believe that is all we have for this evening. This meeting's adjourned.
Michelle, maybe I should have asked Bill. And we could have forced Bill.
It's the buildings.